Welcome to our tutorial on configuring your GBF IP doorbell using the new ControlCam 2 app on iOS. Firstly, please make sure that your IP doorbell is in its factory default setting. To do this, apply power to the IP doorbell and press and hold the bell button. You'll be pressing and holding that bell button for over a minute. What precedes the time to release it is you'll see the lights to the left of the lens flash briefly, and then shortly after that you will hear a buzzer sound coming from the speaker. Do not release the button until the end of the buzzer sound. After the buzzing stops, you may release the bell button and the IP doorbell will go through another 1-minute reset, and we'll be ready for configuration shortly after that. So I've already downloaded the ControlCam 2 app onto the iPad, and I'll go into the program now. You'll be faced with two options: log in and sign up. If this is your first time into the using the ControlCam 2 app, you will be signing up, creating a new account. And you will also be doing this for any additional mobile devices that will be using the IP doorbell, as each device requires its own account on ControlCam 2. So do not use the same account for multiple mobile devices, as this will not this will cause problems with your ring-in notifications. All right, so the first thing you will do is create a username, a unique username from anywhere to 3 to 20 characters long. We're not data mining here, so this does not need to be an email address. It just can be any unique username that you can remember. And then enter a password of 6 to 12 characters long. Again, it's whichever you would like them to be. And you will also then create a custom question and custom answer. These are basically password recovery questions. All right, so I have already created an account, and so I'm going to log in using my credentials. And as you see here, I have a very simple sign-in password. You can make that as secure as you like. Obviously, this one isn't secure, but this is just for test reasons. So this brings us to the IP doorbell preview screen. If you have multiple IP doorbells, you'll see pictures, or at least current pictures of them on this page. In this case, since we don't have any doorbells added yet, we do have this click here to add device bar, so that's what we will press because we want to add a device. You're faced with two options: Doorbell 1 or Doorbell 2. Doorbell 1 encompasses all of our legacy devices and also includes most devices shipped up to including March of 2018. Beyond that, if your order number or your Amazon listing, or the listing you have the device on the list that you received off of our website, if in the title it has V.2, meaning version 2, that would be a Doorbell 2. So basically, unless you know for sure that you have V.2 in the title of your IP doorbell, then you would be using Doorbell 1. In my case, I do have the upgraded firmware in the version 2 doorbell, so I will be using Doorbell 2 to add. Here you're going to two more options: hotspot connection or add manually. You'd be using the add manually if you were adding additional mobile devices to an already configured IP doorbell. Otherwise, you'll be using the hotspot connection to configure the IP doorbell via Wi-Fi. So once we click into there and enter that screen, we do have some brief directions that, again, remind you to make sure that the IP doorbell is in its factory default mode. And also ensure that your smartphone or whatever you're using to configure your IP doorbell is on the Wi-Fi network that you want it to connect to. And it has to be a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Our IP doorbells do not support 5 gigahertz, so you have to make sure that it's a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to ensure that we are on the correct Wi-Fi for configuration, and we are. And back to our app. I'll hit next. And so now it is asking that I connect to the actual IP doorbell SSID. So I'll go back to my Wi-Fi again here. And I see in my list I have an SSID starting in LIDAW. That will be the common prefix for all of our IP doorbells that are in the AP mode. The last 8 digits are actually the GID number of the IP doorbell. So I will connect to the LID Wi-Fi, which basically means a direct connection from my iPad to the doorbell. And I'll go back to the app, and I will enter the actual password for my actual Wi-Fi. And once I've got that configured, as you see, we have the auto capitalization of iOS. In my case, I have to make sure that I have the correct password in there, as you do as well. This is actually the most common area for mistakes to occur during the configuration, because a lot of people don't really use their passwords for their Wi-Fi very often because most of their devices sign directly into it. So now I will hit next after making sure that I've got the right password, the right Wi-Fi. Okay, so the alert is telling me that that the IP doorbell will now be trying to connect to Wi-Fi. So what the IP doorbell does now is, after having received the configuration parameters we just sent to it, it will do a 1-minute reset, and then we'll after that try to connect to your Wi-Fi. So when I press OK, it brings us to the Add Device screen. Here, the first line is the device GID, and that's unique to your IP doorbell and cannot be changed. Do not try and change any of the characters in the device GID. Your username is currently admin, the factory default admin, and our password is 1234. And when we go into device name, that I can name it anything I like. I'm just going to name it the gate for now. And after putting in the proper parameters, I will hit the save button. Okay, so as you see now, we have back to the same preview screen. It just has a generic icon in the picture right now because we've never signed on to our IP doorbell yet. But you can see that it's named gate, and beside the name gate, it has a green bell there. The green bell actually means that it's online with the servers already. If you are very quick with going through the configuration and come to the screen quickly, it may not be green yet because you may have actually beat the IP doorbell through, going through its reset and sign on to your Wi-Fi. So In this case, it's green now, so I can actually just press the icon there, and we can see the picture from the IP doorbell. Now, when we look at the small icons near the middle of the screen, you've got the speaker. When the speaker is green, you can hear what somebody is transmitting to you from the IP doorbell, so you can hear the guest what they're saying to you. When you enable the microphone, the green microphone, you see below it we have now a large microphone icon. Anytime we want to talk to your guest, you have to press and hold the button, and then you would release it to listen to what they have to say. We have adopted a push-to-talk system similar to many intercom systems, mainly because if you use a full duplex, where they can talk to you as well as you can talk to them, you have to incorporate an echo cancellation circuit, which usually in high noise environments will make the outdoor unit quite much quieter in volume, which of course is not conducive in a high environmental noise setting. So ours implement a push to talk. So push to talk and release to listen. Okay, so now you have the unlock. When you press the unlock, this is for unlocking the door or activating the gate, whatever you have your lock relay connected to. In this case, we will try the default password. Actually, sorry, on ControlCam 2, the default password starts by being 1111. Okay. Now the other small icons on here, you've got a small camera icon. Pressing that small camera icon takes a snapshot of what's seen out there. Then beside that you have a movie camera icon. If you press the movie camera icon, it begins recording movie, recording live action video. Of course, there's not a lot of live action in this scene that we're seeing right now, but we do see the clock ticking up in the upper part of the screen there, so that will be our confirmation that it's live action video. And then we also have a landscape button on the far right icon. So if we hit that icon, it goes to a landscape mode. And when we flick it back, it comes back to the regular mode. Now we can also hit the settings cog up in the upper right. In the settings cog, we can actually change the device name, unlock time, so that's the duration that the unlock relay stays open or closed. And one key unlock. What one key unlock does is if I enable that, oops, didn't mean to do that. Sign back into it. Actually, I'll just go straight to the settings from the preview screen by hitting the settings cog, same place. I'll turn on the one key unlock, and I will enter into it what is currently the default password. That can be, of course, changed anytime you like. If I hit the save button now, when I go back, now when I'm actually connected to the IP doorbell, if I press the unlock button, I don't have to enter a code. It just unlocks for the duration that we have pre-programmed in. All right, so now if I back out of that, we can look at the two tabs that are doorbell and global ring-in. Doorbell, of course, will show all of your different IP doorbells that you have connected to your system. If I hit global ring-in, this is basically enabling or disabling the ring-in notifications from the IP doorbell. If you have multiple IP doorbells, you would actually use selective ring-in. And when you hit the arrow over to the right, you'll be able to select which ones are going to notify you. In this case, I will hit the edit button and activate the gate and hit save. Many people will have multiple IP doorbells connected to their phone and may just want ring-in notifications from just certain ones. If you don't want any ring-in notifications at all, then you just hit the silent button and basically silences all incoming IP doorbell notifications. So I'll just go to the global ring-in, which basically, if you had multiple ones, it will turn on every one of them at once. If I go into the settings mode here, we look at settings, notification, sound, and vibration. You can activate the doorbell call vibration mode so that it actually vibrates instead of ringing in. So it won't be an audible ring, it'll just be vibrate your phone or mobile device. And the other notifications would be for things like your motion detection. So going back to settings again, we'll look at media. You can see that we have 2 recent files, but only one of them is a video. Oh, it's an old video from previous 2. I can go to this one, and this is where we recorded the live video, and you can see that, yes, although there's no movement really in the picture, you can see that the time is counting up in the upper part of the screen. And if we look at photos, again, we'd have just a still photo snapshot of the scene we took. And you can when you press edit, you can delete. So I'll just delete these. Send them to the garbage. Okay. And as you see as well, you can also save it to somewhere on your mobile device if you want to save it permanently. Okay, and that's all you have to see about settings. So now let's see if this thing actually works. So I'll just exit the app. In fact, I'll just totally close that app, and we'll put the iPad asleep, and I'll go ring the bell. Okay, so as you see, a notification comes up on the screen. And what I can do on an iPad is I can just swipe that notification, and it comes to the screen allowing me to accept or deny this call. And you can see that it specifies which IP doorbell it's coming from. This one, in this case, the one that we called gate. So I hit the doorbell button, and it right away opens up to the app. And you'll see that the speaker and the microphone icons, the small green ones, are in the correct format, ready to go for answering. So currently, your guest does not hear you, but you can see and hear them. And as soon as you press the push to talk button, you can talk to them. And then you can release to listen back. As soon as you're finished with the call, or actually, if say you've talked to the guest and you want to let them in or open the gate for them, then you just press the unlock button right from the app, And when you're finished with that, just back on out. All right. I hope you enjoyed your introduction to this ControlCam 2 app and how to configure IP doorbell. And if you have any other questions, you can go to our website at gbfelectronics.com and go into the support section and look at some additional videos and manuals. And or you can email us at info@gbfelectronics.com. Thank you.